Hello everyone, E3, Gamer Christmas is pretty much over in terms of the major conferences, and there was a lot that was announced or talked about to be excited for. I'm going to be doing a top 10 games of E3 2013. Now, to qualify, you had to be announced or shown in one of those four major conferences one of the five major conferences I just talked about. That just keeps it simpler, and those are all the big games anyway. So, what games got me the most excited? Without further ado, here we go. Number 10. The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD and A Link Between Worlds. Kinda cheating here, but I don't care, and for the record, Pokemon X and Y almost got on this list, but nothing this conference really blew me away, nothing at Nintendo's Direct. I mean, I am still very excited for it, so consider it a number 11. I love me some Zelda, but Wind Waker was the one that I've heard is just amazing. I played like a few minutes, but besides that, I really haven't played it. Actually sat down and played it. So a re-release definitely, got my interest. It's coming to Wii U in October. It's going to have some improvements to the gameplay. It looks like they're going to speed up the sailing. It was kind of hinted at, which is good. And then the graphics are just gorgeous. I was very impressed at the graphics. That's really all I can say. Wind Waker HD will certainly hold me over until the next 3D Zelda release. As for A Link Between Worlds, which, if you didn't know, was a sequel to A Link to the Past, so that's a pretty big deal. The graphic style isn't grabbing me, but I've always preferred the 2D Zeldas a little bit, and this one looks like a lot of fun. What really interests me, though, is the way it uses the 3D technology of the 3DS to differentiate between levels and dungeon that you can jump up and down to. That's really unique. It should be implemented really well. I think Nintendo knows what to do with it. It'll be really creative. And it's nice to see a game that's built around this game mechanic, this, different layers of the dungeons. And this mechanic would not work on any other system but the 3DS. That's rare in most 3DS games. So there's a pair of Zeldas that both look great. I think that's a good way to start the list. Number 9. Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. If you had told me that they were making a third-person PvZ shooter, this is exactly what I would have hoped they were making. All the plants that you can play as have unique abilities and attacks and weapons. All the zombies are unique in their strengths and weaknesses, so that should be really diverse. It's 4-player co-op. The humor of the series is still intact. It just looks like a blast. And it was a really nice surprise. I know a lot of skeptics are saying, oh, sellout. Just look at the gameplay. If you look at the gameplay, unbiased, I think you know, this is a must-buy. Number 8. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I enjoy the Assassin's Creed series, but I've never owned one. They don't interest me that much. But I do think that will change with Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Obviously, you're a pirate, okay? You're a pirate, you're roaming the seas, exploring islands, doing side quests. That's all really great. But seeing it in action finally at the Sony event proved just how visually stunning and dynamic it was. But most importantly, how fluid and frenetic the combat is going to be. The dual swords and multiple holster pistols, and especially the hidden blade, of course. I think it's going to lead to a really satisfying combat system, which is something that I've always been a little iffy on in the previous games. I couldn't really get into the combat system there, but this one looks amazing. I didn't expect to be impressed with Assassin's Creed 4, but seeing the actual gameplay certainly did leave a good impression. Number 7. Battlefield 4. Okay, so I've wanted to get into Battlefield for a while. I played a little bit of 3 and it was a lot of fun. But just the huge maps, the vehicles, the giant teams, it looks amazing. However, Battlefield 4 didn't really interest me for some reason or another. Maybe it was just too close to the release of Battlefield 3, it wasn't a huge jump like 2 to 3 was. I don't know, for whatever reason. It did interest me, but not a, ooh, I must have. Then this happened.
Where's that 18 fire coming from? There's a hostile anti-tank soldier in.
It was the most jaw-dropping moment I have ever experienced watching a live demo. And it wasn't the fact that a skyscraper fell, I mean, that's happened. It was the fact that it was in multiplayer. It wasn't scripted. The players decided to take it down. And the system was processing an entire skyscraper falling down in real time. That's unbelievable. I was speechless after seeing that, after that happened during the live stream I was watching. And that made Battlefield 4 an absolute must-buy as a PS4 launch. If they have split-screen multiplayer. I'm sorry, that's a big hang-up. I don't know if they'll have split-screen local multiplayer. It's a must for my FPS games. If it doesn't, I'll be getting Call of Duty Ghosts. Because dog. Number 6. The Elder Scrolls Online. I love Skyrim just so much. It's my favorite game of all time, hands down. And I've always wanted a multiplayer Elder Scrolls experience. So when Elder Scrolls Online was announced, I didn't care. It was for PC only, right? But then it was announced for Mac, so I got interested. Then yesterday it was announced for PlayStation 4, and I'm sold. I just can't wait to explore literally all of Tamriel with hundreds of thousands of other adventurers, with a combat system that is just like Skyrim, meaning it's an MMO combat system I can finally get into. Thank you, Bethesda. I don't care if there's a monthly free, I'm almost certain there is. I'm just so excited to play this one. So excited. I think deep down, I was always waiting, knowing that when Elder Scrolls got into MMOs, so would I. Number 5. Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. This would be quite a bit higher on the list if the reveal was A, a surprise, I mean, we all knew it was coming, they told us, or B, impressive. I mean, there weren't too many new characters. It's just more Smash Bros in HD. On the other hand, it's more Smash Bros in HD. There's really not much to say about this one. I mean, Smash Bros Brawl is one of my all-time favorite games. By far, it's in my top 10. It's so fun and addicting and surprisingly deep and beautiful. It's everything you could want in a fighter. So, more of that? Yes, please. In HD? Absolutely. Next year? Take my money. My body is ready. Sorry, that's a cliche joke, but it fit. Number 4. Watch Dogs. The potential of Watch Dogs is almost terrifyingly amazing. I mean, you've got this open city where you can wander and hack anything, find all these different types of missions, and then go about them in any way you see fit, given, within the limits of this amazingly cool set of tools. Throw in satisfying gunplay and top-notch production. Watch Dogs is definitely going to be a strong Game of the Year contender, if it lives up to that potential. Now, will it live up to that potential? From what we've seen, it's looking that way. Unfortunately, we've seen a lot, which is why it isn't one spot higher on this list. If Watch Dogs gets the positive feedback I'm expecting it to, it will be the first game I get alongside my PS4 this holiday season. Number 3. Destiny. I love first-person shooters, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. So, what is this Destiny game? Well, it's an open-world MMO shooter from the developer of Halo, Bungie, and the publisher of Call of Duty, Activision. So much yes. The gameplay that was finally shown at Sony's event just got me more excited. I mean, the idea of running around in an open world with Bungie's always solid and refined gameplay, looting stuff, improving through some really deep-looking mechanics, then participating in these events with, random strangers, hundreds of us, these massive in scale events. It just sounds incredible. And the fact that they've said that Destiny is going to be heavily supported like it's Bungie's game for a decade. Yeah, you have my support. Number 2. That was literally all we got for Star Wars Battlefront. Like 30 seconds. That was it. But that's all we needed. We just needed EA to come out and say, we got this. I adore Battlefront 2 and Battlefront Renegade Squadron. They're my top 10 favorite games. Easily. And this is on PSP. This is, the wonky controls with no second joystick, weird aiming, and then, pretty crappy production value. I can't even imagine what it's gonna be like on next-gen consoles. And it's by DICE! That's absolutely perfect! A match made in heaven! No one is better at making high-quality, just gorgeous, objective, and team-based shooters. It is in amazing hands. It can't be bad. It cannot go wrong with them in charge. It probably isn't going to come out until late 2014, maybe even 2015, but I don't care. I am getting a next-generation Battlefront game. This Nerdgasm brought to you by EA. And the number one game of E3 2013 is Infamous Second Son. Yeah, I knew this would be my number one pick before E3 even started. Infamous is a great game that really struck me with how unique and, well executed it was. However, it was a little rough around the edges. Infamous 2, on the other hand, near perfection. To yet another game mentioned in this video that's in my personal top 10 favorite. Actually, this is in my top 5. To be fair though, Infamous Second Son did quite a bit at E3 to warrant this number one spot. First, all the footage we were shown was in-game, which is great. No more of the CGI that was in the announcement trailer. Now we know kind of what to expect. Second, the story looks much more interesting. The relationship between two brothers should be nice. Delson doesn't seem like an unlikable jerk anymore, and those facial animations are sublime.
Right? And of course, the only downside being that, nope, can't think of anything. This is pretty freaking awesome.
Most importantly though, the gameplay. We only saw little, but what we saw is exactly what I hoped for. It's definitely an Infamous game, they're definitely utilizing the uniqueness of his smoke abilities, and it's definitely going to be as fun and fluid as the previous installments in the Infamous franchise. There are also well-founded rumors that Infamous Second Son will feature multiplayer, which would be excellent. In the end though, Infamous Second Son excites me because it is pure next-gen in a way. A lot of the games on this list, while I'm still very excited for them, obviously, they have, like PS3 and 360 versions as well as next-gen versions. So the possibility is there that they removed something from the PS4 version just so the PS3 version isn't inferior. It's kind of holding back the game. Not the case for Infamous Second Son. It is built for PS4 and only for PlayStation 4. It is taking advantage of the PlayStation 4 fully. So really, Infamous Second Son also carries my excitement for all of next-gen gaming, which easily gets it the number one spot.